Well, here we are now on a double episode of episode 208, a back-to-back episode. Yesterday I talked about Bobbinhead, and today we're going to be talking about and cooking zucchini slice. And today's date is the 26th of May, and welcome along to another fun-packed episode. And Steve and I have a fantastic show coming up for you today. But before we get on to today's zucchini slice, okay, joining me in the studio, Steve Wood. Good morning, Steve. Welcome to you.
Good morning once again, Barry. Thanks for having me back on the show. Great to be back in the studio. So beautiful day. Great to catch up with Barry's video in Bobbinhead yesterday. Haven't seen it all yet, but I'll be catching up with that later. And here we are today, zucchini slice, we think, Barry. Zucchini slice on the menu today.
And zucchinis. We will talk about that shortly, but first, the importance of organising a meeting. Make sure you've got the subjects you wish to talk about and how long you time them for. Here's Steve now for his opening sequence.
Yeah, I love an organised meeting, Barry. I love it when people have exactly what they want to talk about laid out before they start, so everybody knows what's going to be discussed. Yeah, great idea.
And stick to your subjects, okay? Only discuss what you plan, like I did with Brisbane this morning. Here's my outsider.
That's right. Well, once you've got your subjects laid out, Barry's quite right. Try and stick to what you've decided to talk about. Don't wander off, Barry. Don't wander off.
Like, don't go wandering off onto different subjects, guys. Stick to them. Okay, if there's any personal issues, even if it's on Skype or Google Meet, okay, there is a time and place for personal issues. Here's my outsider.
That's right. So try and stick to exactly what you laid out to do, and don't deviate.
Like, don't just go off the beaten track. Here's my outsider.
That's right. The beaten track, that's a good word for it. Yeah. Keep to the agenda.
So stay on the track, stay in control, time your items, and wait for your turn to speak. Here's my outsider.
That's right. Another very important point, Barry. Don't talk over people. Make sure that anyone who wants to talk has got the ability to talk uninterrupted.
And make sure that you had the minutes of the previous meeting. Here's my outsider.
That's right. So if you're going to discuss the previous meeting, make sure that everybody has got a copy of that.
Okay, and make sure that you make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you inform your site manager if you are unable to attend the meeting on the day before the day of the meeting. Here's my outsider.
That's right. Just don't just not turn up. Make sure that you give ample time if you're going to excuse yourself.
Like as we said with the doctor's appointments on previous videos that Steve and I have brought to you, please don't be inconsiderate because you're letting the air out of the person's tires as well as your own tires. is my offside.
That's right, and it's the right thing to do. It's just polite. Stick with being polite.
So, always be on time for the meeting too. Here's my offside.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a time bandit myself. Barry, I love things to be on time, so I always remember getting early so that you're ready for the start.
And make sure that you have a suitable room to have your meeting. Here's my offside.
That's right. Make sure everyone's got room to sit comfortably. It's a get together, or make sure everyone's got the right equipment. It's a Zoom meeting.
Yeah, like it was here in this room. Here's my offside.
That's right. Make sure everyone's got access to a screen. If it's Zoom, it's popular these days, and much more difficult not interrupting people than Barry. So just take your time when you're talking on Zoom, and make sure that everybody waits for everyone else to finish speaking.
So it is very important that you commit to your meetings, but if for some whatever reason you can't hold the meeting, like etc., illness or something's come up with your family, let your staff and clients know as soon as possible. Here's my offside.
That's right. So if you've got a meeting coming up, try and stick to it and give as much notice as possible if you're not able to make it.
Because, like Steve and I have been saying throughout the program today, please be mindful and be home on time. Be home on the day of your meeting, like I've been today. So please be considerate, okay? Don't keep the person waiting. Here's my offside.
That's right. Put it in your diary or your calendar, whichever you use, and make sure you give yourself plenty of time to be there on time.
And confirm the meeting too. Here's my offside.
That's right. If you plan a meeting, make sure everybody confirms that they're going to attend. That's right.
And if you are not able to make the meeting, like we just said, please be mindful and don't assume that you will be there when really you're not going to be there. And another thing, don't double book yourself. Here's my offside.
Give yourself plenty of time, and if you're accepting a meeting, check that you haven't already got one on that date and time.
And on the subject of next week, while we've got you here, we've got a big day coming up to next Wednesday. We've got an eye appointment at OPSM, then it's off to Allambie Heights for another seating appointment. So on the same token, guys, like I've got 2 appointments next Wednesday morning, so that's why we are doing a big show here today, because we won't have time to do one next week in my offside.
That's right. Barry's calendar's full. In your calendar, Barry, are those 2 appointments for next week?
Yep, that's right.
That's right. So we know we got them, so we're planning for them, and we'll make sure we're on time for both of them, won't we, Barry?
And next week we are off to Warringah Mall, and we might even do a Subway segment.
Will we, Barry?
Next week.
Subway segment.
And we'll be doing a Subway review, so that's all coming up. So right now the time is 5 minutes past 11 here, And Sydney's weather today, absolutely beautiful. Look at that in my eyesight.
It is another beautiful autumn day, Barry. And tonight, viewers, everybody, you know this, Barry, a special full moon tonight. There's a lunar eclipse tonight.
And full moon tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So if you look out of your bedroom windows or your lounge rooms, okay, have a look at it. I think it's around 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight. So look out for that. So just going over our opening topics, okay, please do take on board what we've mentioned, okay, especially the meetings, and if you've got any personal issues that you wish to raise, there is a time and place for them. Here's my operator.
That's right, Barry's Guide to Successful Meetings.
Yeah. Well, this has been part 1 of our show. Part 2 coming up very shortly. This is Barry Fearon, Steve Wood here, the extended version of Steve Wood. So, Rhoda, if you are watching, I hope you're watching somewhere nice and comfortable at the moment. And I hope to see you back here in the studio very soon. But Steve is doing a wonderful job, and thanks to Jackie for organising him. But right now, time for a cup of tea, and then we might think about this marvellous zucchini slice.
Yep, just checking the recipe, Barry.
And we'll take a break and be back with part 2 very shortly. This is a double episode of episode 208.